I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Colin. In this video, we're going to have a look at the crypto market of today. The overall market is down about 2.3% as of the last 24 hours. We can see that Bitcoin has stabilized, Ethereum quite stable, and everything else basically anywhere from minus 5% to plus 5%. Not that significant. However, today I want to highlight the 7-day averages, because definitely the daily volatility, as we are used to with crypto, is quite significant. But on the 7-day average, things are looking a lot more clean. So let me open Bitcoin and Ethereum and at the same time pull up the fear and greed index, sitting at the neutrality still at this point, 1 point higher than yesterday, which is a good indicator. But we all know we can move anywhere from here. We can go into the greed section of the market when Bitcoin becomes more bullish, potentially pushes beyond 45, 46K, as that is what I heard from the technical analysis gurus where the resistance is at. When we look at the 1-day chart, we can definitely see quite some volatility, basically swinging between 43K and 44.5K. When we look at the last 7 days, we can see that clear recovery, right? Where basically we had a low situation here on the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. Now there has been some stabilization period and a linear upward trend quite aggressively happening. However, do make sure to zoom out properly, because now we are just back at the levels that we were 2 weeks ago. So although this definitely looks like a significant gain, we have just basically recovered from the invasion threat news. When we look at the 1-year chart, we are still definitely on the bottom of things, right? So I really like how Bitcoin CoinMarketCap is basically showing the red part and the green part, where you can basically see the trends compared to the averages of these windows, right? It's a very good indicator to quickly see where things are moving. So primarily keeping an eye on Bitcoin right now, moving down quite aggressively from about 44K to 43.5. Nothing too urgent as of yet. When we look at Ethereum, obviously they're holding at about 3,000. Actually, the first time since a long time that I took out some actual Ethereum. So I sold the 9 Ethereum for euros straight to my bank account, which I haven't done in a long time. I just felt like I needed to de-risk because I was stocking up on so much Ethereum. I was like, should I buy more NFTs? What should I do with the Ethereum? Should I stake it? Should I put it in a yield farm? I didn't really know what to do. And with these crazy swings that keep happening, I was like, maybe I just sit on some euros for a little bit or buy myself something nice. So I did sell off about 9 Ethereum earlier this morning. Just some fun fact. Right, sitting at about 3,000 Ethereum, $3,000 per Ethereum at the moment. It's basically following the same upward linear trend. This one is looking a little bit less aggressive than the Bitcoin chart, but definitely we can see that upward linear trend very good. And today, as Bitcoin as well, quite shaky indeed. About $100 to $150 difference hour to hour. Not huge, but still relative to what we're dealing with, the percentage difference are quite significant. Just to be aware of overall. When we go back to the top 100 coins, we can definitely see that neutral movement, right? The neutral movement is quite important. We have the stables not gaining, not losing much. However, something like Terra Luna, which has become more interested, I have become more interested in the Luna ecosystem every time I see the dips, right? Because the recovery is strong and the belief in this ecosystem is huge, right? So sitting basically at an all-time high of only 90 something, right? And then once we look at that run the last couple of days, basically going from 49 to basically that point, right, where we are at right now. which means that when the next dump occurs, if it might occur, I don't do the top 20 coins mainly, right? It's not really my thing. I'm more into the micro cap gaming in general, but I might push a portion of my portfolio, which I have maybe right now in Ethereum, in Luna on the next dip, because I've been tracking those recovery cycles. That's what I do, right? I look at the patterns, the probability of that happening again, and every single time it recovers really, really well. So actually on my watch list, which I keep track of myself, I put Luna there on the #1 spot moving forward for the next dip. So I will even skip some gaming projects to look at Terra Luna, what the price does. So definitely buying point would be about $50. I don't know if it will drop that significantly again. However, even their ecosystem, the yield that you can get on the actual just holding the token is quite significant. I just need to research it more. I don't know enough about the ecosystem, right? When we head over to Solana, it has still been struggling quite a bit. So on the 1 year chart, we can definitely see the highest high was about $260, sitting at about less than half of that currently still. So Solana is still in a great position, but it does require that indication of a bull run to pull up, right? So when the entire market goes up, Solana will definitely be pushing right there. Cardano basically ready to be kicked out of the top 10, right? AVAX and DOT are going to be the next contenders because Luna and Solana already surpassed Cardano. Cardano not really doing much in general. I'm not into these protocols that much, so I don't know much about them, just as the foundational units, but not what they're doing on a daily basis, weekly, monthly basis. I do not keep track of that. I do read the quarterly updates, right? Because I think it's interesting to know about the market in general, what these major foundational chains are doing. However, I don't know much about Cardano in general. All I really know is that a lot of people seem to have forgotten about it. So it's really one dedicated group that supports it. And other than that, there's not much on their ecosystem as of now, as far as I believe, right? But then again, I don't keep up to date with it. I think you got some meme coins right here, which I never even look at. Then you got crypto.com, obviously, the Kronos. I think the CRO is crypto.com, right? Yeah, crypto.com. So that has been doing quite well still, like in line with the market pattern in general. And then when we go down, we go into like the gaming and other coins. And that's what I would like to focus on here, as per usual. The gaming first. And for gaming, it's looking good, but it's not looking too good, right? Because definitely the bullish pattern of Bitcoin, which was 12.38% on a 7-day, it's not been established by a lot of gaming projects. So the pump did not occur because the initial push of Bitcoin wasn't lengthened, right? So what that means is, if I take it like this, the market is still a little bit too fearful. So it did go up, but it didn't push beyond this for another leg up. And that another leg up, in my opinion, I think that could really mean that that's the moment that the crypto gaming will be pushed, right? Right now, it's basically stabilized and in a small downward trend. And this is what is resembled in the crypto gaming. So the average gain on Bitcoin over the last 7 days, 12.5%, has not yet been actualized, right? Because we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gaming projects of maybe, well, at least 100 I have on this page, and there are 4 pages, so 400-ish projects that have made those gains like Bitcoin or better, which is quite shit, right? So we can definitely say that that pump hasn't happened. Now, obviously, the question remains, when will it happen? And that's a really good question. It would really have to depend on the way that Bitcoin moves, right? Which is unfortunate. However, we do see that there might be another opportunity, right? Because this would have been the best opportunity. I've mentioned that, I missed it. And I would love for that opportunity to come again. But for that opportunity to come again, Bitcoin would basically have to go back to 34K, which is about $10,000 lower-ish, 9,000, than it's currently at, which is unlikely to happen quite quickly unless the NATO starts a war with Russia. But I think then at that point we have a whole lot bigger problems, maybe a crypto winter coming up. You never know how that craziness goes, right? Ultimately, at the end of the day. When we look at the rest of the projects, it's kind of a stabilization period. You can even look at these charts right here, right? Some very small gainers, but look at the volume. It's extremely low, right? The volume being traded. Gala, so when we actually hit them on like the ranking, Decentraland still at the top, Sandbox, Axie Infinity, so the ranking is almost the same. However, looking at these market caps and then the decrease is obviously specifically today, is not really a bullish sign whatsoever. I'm not here to say that we're going into a bull market, we're going to a bear market. I'm just observing the results as they are today and looking where the opportunities are at. And I'm basically coming to the conclusion for this week is that there are very little opportunities because the market is so volatile, 5% up, 5% down, 5% up, 5% down. It would have to go either a little bit more up consistently or a little bit more down consistently to signal us the right pattern, right? Because right now we're moving sideways, which is part of the game, right? Which is part of the game. So definitely gotta stick with it and gotta roll with it. But for me, I'm always looking for that opportunity. So where can I see, where can I look for the opportunities ahead? What is the market going to do? And I don't want to say that I'm confused, but I'm kind of confused, or maybe more so impatient, right? I'm more so impatient on what I would expect to happen and what is actually happening, right? So sometimes that's the case, 1 or 2 days. Specifically here, it was the 5th until, well, we did see some upward trend here before the downward movement. But it was basically about a week and a half of very little price action, right? And that pattern might repeat itself right now. And it's only been 1 day in the beginning of March. And we'll have to see what that brings us. So that's everything for the gaming tokens. Not much going on. We just have to wait, be patient, in my opinion. Now let's go to the Launchpads, because that's definitely a different story. The Imposters launch on Superfarm has been delayed. So let's head over to their Twitter. I think they made announcements. Out of respect for the events in Ukraine, the project is delaying the Genesis launch. I don't know why they would assume that they're going to drop the March 28th. I assume that at that point they assume that the war is over. Here somebody's saying, out of respect for the events in Ukraine, right, just going to wait that Ukraine war thing until it's over and then launch makes perfect sense. Yeah, it doesn't make that much sense for me. Like, they can postpone, that's fine, right? It's like a major project. But to postpone and blame Ukraine or just like put it up for Ukraine, I don't really see the benefit of that. Just say like, hey, we're going to delay due to the unstable market conditions and we don't know what the outcome is. That's more so, this is like a little bit like, whatever. We all know that that's not what the real reason. But at the end of the day, the 28th is fine for me. I'm still interested, right? Still waiting. And I did make a post that, is that correct? No, I needed this one. That on March 7th, they're actually doing a big AMA where people can ask questions on how everything is going to go. So they do have a lot of updates in regards to the Genesis. So staking, Genesis entity can be staked to earn blood for season events. Land owners can establish resource producers, power plants, UFOs. UFOs can be raised to earn blood and upgrade. Okay, pets. Okay, so definitely, well, a good overview at least. So the NFTs are quite important, I would say. and definitely, look, even more. So definitely some tokenomics to it, how to use, how it's beneficial. And this is basically what we needed, I would say, on the launch announcement, right? So there was so much FUD, but if they would have done this Medium post on the launch, so to get people get a little bit of a better idea, then that would make sense. So there's 10,420 of these imposters, Genesis collection. Elliott Trades NFT holders and Superfarm NFT holders, the imposter drop is coming, so you can get a whitelist, right? But I heard that the Neo Tokyo citizens also get a whitelist, which has now been confirmed, which means that I have 4 whitelist spots. I have 3 citizens, I sold 1, so I have 3 citizens, and I have a Superfarm NFT, so I have 4 mints that I can do. 1 whitelist per wallet, that's fine, I'll just send them to my other wallets, and I can mint 4 imposters if I want to. Well, we'll have to see if that's actually what I want to do, because I know they are quite expensive, but I am bullish on this in the long term. So I'll definitely consider that. Imposters, I think they changed the price to 1 Ethereum, so perhaps I'll spend 4 Ethereum on getting 4 of these imposter NFTs and participate in their events leading up to the actual beta launch, and however or whatever is going to be played. There will be 10,000 NFTs, which is, I think, a good amount, specifically for the adoption. So this is something I'm going to keep my eye on. March 7th, there will be an AMA. I'll be trying to join it. And then on the actual 28th of March, the mint will happen. So I will be whitelisted and ready. Everything for Super Farm. Now let's look at the actual launch pads. All right, 7-day up, Etapad, Thor Starter, Eastpad, Pulsepad, Nearpad. So all the Bluezilla pads are basically in the top 10 biggest gainers, but also DAO is there as well. Maybe that's because of an announcement, because it appears it just pumped quite significantly, then it went down and now it's up again. But when we look at the 7-day chart, it definitely took quite a big pump. So maybe they got a really cool, exciting project that they announced. And that's basically the trend. The market is up and we can see more IDOs being announced. Market conditions are currently more favorable than what they have before. Even the really small launch pads like MemePad is pumping after a long decline period. So those are good indications, right? Look at this. Terrible decline after this initial run. So let's even exclude this. Let's just look at it from this, right? So like almost 18 cents at the top and then just like a crazy decline. But now, at least, let's take the last 7 days. We can see an upward trend. So that's good. And I hope for MemePad that it all goes well and they recover. As for most of these launch pads, the neutral fear and greed index is a good indicator for them to plan in more launches. Unless Bitcoin shoots down again and they're going to delay more launches, then it will be a nightmare. As you can see, there's still a lot of launch pads struggling. Engine Starter specifically for a long time, down to 2.3 cents per token. Soul Racer, 17 cent minus. And these are the last 7 days, right? AnyPad struggling at 1.2 cents. Bull Perks at 14 cents. So if you're wondering if the current market conditions are still offering you a good entry, I think the entries right now are amazing, right? They are so affordable. When we're going to look back, let's say 6 months from now, and look back to the current moment, you'll be laughing your ass off because CDeFi might be on the next bull run $20, $30, and right now it's $5, $6, right? These prices are unlikely to be seen again once the bull run happens. And if you believe what I believe, it will be strongly focused on gaming metaverse style projects, right? Which means that most of these launch pads are involved in this, which means that the more launches they do, the more this gaming market cap gains volume as well, then everything goes up, right? And that's at the end of the day one of the main flows I foresee happening in like, I don't want to say short, medium term, but maybe medium, long term. It depends, 6 to 12 months. I think it's a likely window of that thing to occur again. You're going to regret it missing out and not making the entries, because everybody can obviously make the entry once everything is green and bullish, but it also means that the best opportunities have already gone by and you were too late. And that's basically what we're looking at. So for now, we just got to be patient, right? We just got to wait it out. So basically the news for today is do nothing, look at the Bitcoin chart, keep some money in stables. That is my goal, basically. And of course, we'll be back tomorrow to have another look at the crypto market. But everything right now looks fine. We just got to be patient. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.